we've looked at how to solve one-step equations, and now we're going to look at how to solve multi-step equations. Those are mostly just be ones that require two steps, in fact. Okay, so there's three types we'll go over, just two types in this section of notes, but there are three types of two-step equations we need to solve. One is one where there is no division. So if you look below, I know you can only see 1 and 2 on my page, but 1 through 4, there we go. They have no division, meaning no fractions in them. So remember, fractions are division. So for this type, where you look, you see no fractions at all, you should do these two steps. Add or subtract the constant from both sides. So just to make sure you know what I mean, let's look at a couple here. On number 1, the goal is to get the variable by itself. That was true of the one-step equations also. The goal is to get the variable by itself. So on this side that has a variable, that means we need to move the -8 out of the way and move the -4 out of the way. Those are the two numbers that need to leave so that we get the variable by itself. The -8 is a coefficient because it's being multiplied by the variable. The -4 is a constant because it's not attached to the variable. It's on the same side as the variable, but it's not being multiplied or dividing the variable. So that's what we'd want to move first. Same idea here over here on number 2. We're going to need to move the -10 and the 1 eventually in order to get the v, the variable, by itself. We'll want to move the 1 first because it's the constant. Now second, you'll want to divide both sides by the coefficient. Sorry if my handwriting be a little messy there. Let me write that better. Coefficient. C-O-E-F-F-I-C-I-E-N-T. So again, looking at the first two, that's the -8 in this one and the -10 in this one. So let's follow those rules with these first 4 questions. So as I look here, I look at the side with the variable, and I want to get rid of the constant first. That's the -4. It's the number by itself. It's not attached to the variable. So that's got a minus sign in front of it. So the opposite of minus is plus. So I add 4 to both sides. Because the goal is to get rid of it. -4 plus 4 is 0. That leaves -8n on the right side. And -132 plus 4 is -128. So step 1 is covered. Step 2 says divide both sides by the coefficient. So that's the -8. Now that's -8 times n. So remember, when there's no operation written between a number and a variable, it's understood to be multiplied. So that's -8 times n. So we need to divide both sides by -8. -8 divided by -8 is 1, so we just have 1 n left. And -128 divided by -8 is positive 16. Because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So take care of the constant first, the coefficient second. We'll do the same pattern here. We'll take care of the constant first, that's the +1. So since it's plus, we do the opposite, we subtract. 1 minus 1 is 0, so we got rid of that. 21 minus 1 is 20. We divide both sides by -10. We get v equals -2. Because when the signs are different, positive and negative, the answer is negative. Okay, now we'll follow the same steps on these two. We want to take care of the constant first. So I look at this side, because this is the side with the variable. The 5 is the constant. Now be careful. There is a minus sign here, but that minus sign tells us about the m. That minus sign has nothing to do with the 5. You always look in front of the number to decide what to do. Well, there's not a negative sign in front, so that implies it's positive. So to get rid of a positive 5, that's not division, to get rid of a positive 5, we'll subtract 5 from both sides. Because 5 minus 5 equals 0, so that cancels out. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. And make sure you keep this minus sign. It's now 0 minus m, which is negative m. Now step 2 says divide both sides by the coefficient. But you might look at this and say, well, wait a minute, there's no number in front of the variable. There's not one written, but there is an understood number in front. When there's no number written, it's understood to be a 1. So we really have a coefficient of negative 1. So we can divide both sides by negative 1. Negative 3 divided by negative 1 is positive 3. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1. So we get 3 equals 1m, or you can just say 3 equals m. Number 4. Notice I didn't point this out in number 3, but which side the variable is on, it could be the left side, like it was in 1 and 2, and by that I mean to the left of the equal sign, but the variable can also be on the right side, to the right of the equal sign. Either way, when you're following these steps, you want to focus on whatever side the variable is on. So here, we have the variable on the right side, we have a constant, we have a coefficient. We want to take care of the constant first. That's a plus 9. The opposite of plus 9 is minus 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. Negative 12 minus 9 is negative 21. Our coefficient is negative 7, so we'll divide both sides by negative 7. And negative 21 divided by negative 7 is positive 3. So that's type 1, when there's no fraction, no division whatsoever. Type 2 is when there's division in a single term. So numbers 5 through 8 have division, meaning a fraction, in just one term. So if you look, there's a fraction, but there's just one letter divided by a number. One letter divided by a number. One variable divided by a number. One variable divided by a number. So a way in which these two are the same is in step 1. We will add or subtract the constant from both sides. So with both of these types, moving the constant is our first step. The difference is this time, instead of dividing both sides by a number, we'll multiply both sides by the denominator. So take care of the constant first, then get rid of the number attached to the variable. This time it would be dividing, so we'll do the opposite, we'll multiply. So on number 5, we look at the side that has the variable, that's the left side. We have the number that's dividing, the 4. It's kind of like a coefficient. It is dividing instead of multiplying, but it's basically just like a coefficient because it's with the variable and the same thing. Then we have the constant. It's not multiplying or dividing the variable. So that's a plus 10, so we do the opposite and we subtract 10. 15 minus 10 is 5. Remember, a fraction is just another way to write division. This is saying m divided by 4. So the opposite of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. So these 4's cancel out. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, and number 6, we need to get rid of the 9 and the 2 in order to get the variable by itself. We start with the constant, which is 9, so we subtract 9 from both sides. 9 minus 9 is 0. 5 minus 9 is negative 4. This is x divided by 2. We say x over 2, and that's fine. I'm just emphasizing the divided because that's what a fraction means. We're dividing. X divided by 2. The opposite of dividing by 2 is multiplying by 2, so we do that to both sides. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so they cancel out. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Okay, 7, same steps, but keep in mind this time the variable is on the right side of the equal sign. We have a 2 and a negative 8. We want to get rid of the negative 8 first because it's the constant. So this is a minus 8, so the opposite is plus 8. Negative 12 plus 8 is negative 4. Negative 8 plus 8 is 0, so they just cancel out. This one, we multiply both sides by 2, because that's x divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so they cancel out. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. On this one, the variable's on the right side. The constant is the 3. That's a minus 3, so I do the opposite and I add 3 to both sides. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. P divided by 5, the opposite of dividing is multiplying. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so that cancels out. 5 times 2 is 10, so we get 10 equals P. Okay, now it's nice when we're learning to be able to know what type is what, but the truth is, most of the time, you'll just be told, solve it. And you won't know what type it is, you'll have to recognize that on your own. So on the back here, I have mixed up the two types. Now, for these two types, like I said on the front, the things that's in common is we'll want to take care of the constant first. Then we'll either have to multiply or divide to get the variable by itself. Okay? So whether or not you remember what type this is, what's important is you remember what steps to take. So we know that we need to take care of the constant first. So we'll subtract 8 from both sides, because they were doing plus 8, so we do the opposite, we subtract 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. 5 minus 8 is negative 3. So we look at what they're doing. They're dividing in by 3. In divided by 3, we want to do the opposite and multiply both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. So that's a type 2. There's division or a fraction in just one term. We took care of the constant, then multiply to get rid of the denominator. Okay, number 10. Even if we don't know what type this is, we know that we need to take care of the constant first. So we subtract 6 because they were adding 6. So we do the opposite, we subtract 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. Negative 39 minus 6 is negative 45. This is 3 times m, so we do the opposite, we divide by 3. Negative 45 divided by 3 is negative 15. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we just have 1m. Okay, number 11, the side with the variable is over here on the left. We need to take care of the constant first, that's the negative 6, so since there's a negative in front of that, to get rid of it, I've got to do the opposite and add 6 to both sides. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Don't forget that negative stays, because this is really 0 minus r, so that's a negative r. Negative 2 plus 6 is positive 4. And there is a coefficient here. There's an understood 1 right here. So to get rid of that negative sign, we'll need to divide both sides by negative 1. And just in case you're curious, 10 and 11 are both type 1. They're the type that have no division, no fraction in them whatsoever. Okay, our last one, we know our job is to get rid of the constant first. So I see a 2 and a 5. The 5 is the constant. It's not being multiplied or divided by the variable, or multiply or dividing the variable. That's a plus 5. We do the opposite. We subtract 5 to both sides. 5 minus 5 is 0. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. They're dividing m by 2. This is m divided by 2. So the opposite is multiplying both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's why I cross those out. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So that's how we do type 1 and type 2 for the two-step equations.